Thank you for your questions. And I can also hear your anger. You referred to 4 cases. I encourage you to give me that information and I will follow it up. But the purpose of your question was to suggest that Nigerians are a special category of people who are being victimized in South Africa by virtue of their nationality. Failing to distinguish between issues of illegal immigration and issues of criminality. Am I correct? These are cases that you mentioned in which you are saying Nigerians were the victims of crime. Well, you'll have your opportunity again. That I understood your question. I don't think I was mistaken. Your question was, there are 4 cases in which Nigerians, you have that information, you're saying we haven't acted, and these are 4 cases in which Nigerians, because they are Nigerians, have been the victims of criminality. Now, if that is the case, I'm saying you're conflating issues of illegal immigration with issues of criminality.
Let me respond to the colleague from Nigeria. Firstly, there isn't any formal, I hope you can listen because I see somebody's disrupting and she has asked questions for us to answer. If you would like to confirm, we've checked with DECO, they do not have such correspondence. Okay. So there isn't anything formally communicated, nothing. So we have verified. Secondly, I don't think Minister Ntshavheni needs to issue any apology because when she stood and spoke as a minister, she was speaking on behalf of South Africans, giving feedback on some of the issues. Let's start with the issue of payments, claiming. And her context was that you can't provide compensation when a person cannot provide legal basis of acquiring the assets. That was what she said. No legal basis of acquiring of assets. Actually, I'm responsible as the minister for 2 entities in justice that actually recover assets as proceeds of crime. If you are here in the country illegally and you've acquired assets, those are classified under proceeds of crime because in terms of a legal standing, you shouldn't have. So they fall under asset forfeiture unit, and they go into CARA. We use that money to actually fight crime and support victims in this country. It's within our laws. So what we stand and speak on as ministers is on the basis of South African laws.
But what she said wasn't really South African law. Sorry. I'm being misrepresented. I flew all the way to here.
No. My dear, one thing, what is going to help us first is respect for each other. Respect for the office that we occupy because we are ministers of the state. I don't think there's any South African journalist or any South African citizen that will disrespect your sitting minister or a government official. It's not done, and it must never be done. So I thought I should literally say that. And I deliberately took this opportunity to clarify as the chair of the IMC, because the work that we do, it's in multifaceted approach.
South Africa has processed more than 53,000 foreign nationals for deportation and repatriation as government ramps up efforts to curb illegal immigration, strengthen border security, and restore confidence in the country's immigration system. The announcement was made on Sunday by Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development and Chairperson of the Inter-Ministerial Committee, IMC, on Migration, Mamagulo Kubai, who provided an update on the implementation of President Cyril Ramaphosa's 5-point migration intervention plan. Addressing the media, Kubai revealed that 53,449 foreign nationals had been processed for deportation or repatriation as of the close of business on 11 July 2026, describing the figure as evidence that authorities are accelerating immigration enforcement while maintaining compliance with both domestic and international law. The government's intensified migration strategy was unveiled by President Cyril Ramaphosa on 7 June 2026 following mounting public concern over illegal immigration, border security, and the pressure placed on public services. The plan is built around 5 priorities: enforcing immigration laws, strengthening border management, modernizing migration systems, addressing policy shortcomings, and enhancing cooperation with neighboring countries to better manage migration flows. The update comes amid a wave of anti-illegal immigration demonstrations across several provinces, where community groups have demanded stricter border controls, tougher action against undocumented migrants, and large-scale deportation. While acknowledging that many South Africans have legitimate concerns about unemployment, crime, overstretched public services, and impact of illegal migration, Kubai warned that these frustrations cannot justify unlawful conduct. She stressed that government remains committed to pursuing an orderly migration system that balances national security with respect for human rights, and said in implementing this plan, we are striving to achieve an orderly and regular migration, which is mindful and sensitive to the concerns raised by our people, while observing human rights and the dignity of all our people in our country, irrespective of their citizenship and immigration status. Kubai issued a stern warning to community groups that have taken it upon to themselves to conduct searches of homes, businesses, and informal settlements suspected of housing undocumented foreign nationals. She said reports from both local and international media indicate that some groups continue to carry out unauthorized identity checks and raids, despite repeated warnings from law enforcement agencies. According to the minister, such actions are illegal and undermine the rule of law, and said media reports both domestically and internationally indicate that there are still groups of protesters who conduct searches around homes and businesses that are suspected to house undocumented immigrants. This is illegal, and members of the community who are part of these activities are warned to refrain from such conduct. Kubai reiterated that only authorized state institutions are legally empowered to enforce immigration legislation. She emphasized that immigration enforcement, border management, arrest, and deportations remain the exclusive responsibility of government agencies and law enforcement authorities, and that no individual or group has the authority to take the law into their own hands or to intimidate, threaten, or unlawfully remove any person from any community. She added that authorities will continue taking action against anyone involved in unlawful searches, intimidation, or vigilante activities. Government also revealed that law enforcement agencies have significantly increasing operations aimed at tackling migration-related crimes. Kubai said authorities have registered 205 criminal cases linked to unlawful migration enforcement, intimidation, and incitement. A total of 350 people have been arrested, while 69 investigations remain active. Another 112 cases have already been enrolled before the courts, highlighting government's determination to prosecute individuals who attempt to enforce immigration laws outside the legal framework. Kubai also praised the work of South African law enforcement following the recent arrest of Mkhanyisi Ndodana Chuma, who is a wanted in the United Kingdom in connection with the alleged murder of his wife and 2 children. Chuma arrived at OR Tambo International Airport from Britain on 5 July before being located and arrested in Kensington, Johannesburg, after South African authorities received an Interpol alert. Kubai noted that although British authorities had not flagged Chuma before he departed the United Kingdom, South African investigators acted swiftly after receiving international intelligence. The multidisciplinary operation involving the South African Police Service and Interpol ultimately led to his arrest. She said, "I wish to commend our SAPS and Interpol for the arrest of Mr. Mkhangisi Ndodana Chuma." She confirmed that the government will proceed with his extradition once she signs the formal request submitted by British authorities. Kubai also addressed widespread confusion surrounding the terms deportation and repatriation, explaining that these two processes serve different legal purposes. She said repatriation refers to the voluntary return of an individual to their country of origin and is regulated by international agreements, including the 1951 United Nations Refugee Convention. Government recently expanded assisted repatriation efforts after Malawi experienced funding shortages for transportation beginning on 14 June, requiring South Africa to provide logistical support for Malawian nationals wishing to return to home voluntarily. Deportation, by contrast, is a formal legal process conducted under Section 34 of the Immigration Act, through which foreign nationals who have violated South African immigration laws are removed from the country following due processes. Kubai revealed that Malawian nationals made up more than 80% of the 53,449 individuals processed, largely due to the assisted repatriation program implemented in recent weeks. They followed by nationals from Zimbabwe and Mozambique, who also accounted for a significant portion of those processed. Government also facilitated the return of migrants to countries beyond the Southern African Development Community, SADC. A total of 2,615 individuals were repatriated to non-SADC countries, including 1,159 to Nigeria, 939 to Uganda, 431 to Kenya, 86 to the Republic of Congo. Alongside the assisted repatriation program, authorities have continued routine immigration enforcement operations across the country. Between 1 April and 30 June, government carried out 15,398 deportations, supported by 2,519 joint law enforcement operations involving multiple security agencies. During June alone, deportations included 1,929 Malawian nationals, 1,284 Zimbabwean nationals, 1,200 Mozambican nationals, 342 Basotho nationals. Government also reported that 2,801 individuals were processed between 14 June and 8 July during an intensified enforcement period that overlapped with the assisted repatriation initiative. Kubai concluded by reaffirming government's commitment to enforcing immigration legislation while protecting the constitutional rights and dignity of everyone living in South Africa. She said efforts to combat irregular immigration will continue alongside measures to strengthen border security, disrupt organized crime, and improve migration management systems. And South Africa remains committed to enforcing its immigration laws, strengthening border management, protecting communities, combating crime, and upholding the dignity and the rights of people. She urged members of the public to report suspected criminal activity directly to the South African Police Service and warned against spreading unverified information on social media. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.